My grandfather pastored several churches, and he was arrested for bombing his own church, and taken to jail, and they didn't know whether he was gonna come home at night, and so the deacons at our church, from our church, they stood watch outside of my grandmama's house to protect my grandmother and my aunts and uncles, in case they came back. And they waited for him. They were armed outside of her house, waiting. And my uncle told me that when they brought my grandfather back, finally, he was outside in a bush with a gun pointed at those police officers in case they touched him, in case they put a finger on him. So that's the legacy that I come from. And a lot of people don't know that about Mississippi. People hear about Mississippi and they have this vision that they got from, Mississippi burning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's not what Mississippi is. It's not. In 1964, there was a shootout that happened between the police, who were none but the Klan at the time, and, my people. A shootout. What I'm talking about is the police and black folks were shooting out in the streets. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that's the kind of stuff that was going down in Mississippi. And folks don't know about them stories. They don't know about that. And that's intentional. They think that Mississippi is just a bunch of people who are accepting things, but we're just really outnumbered. But we're not outgunned.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that. I'm not specifically talking about guns, but sometimes it is guns. We're not outgunned.
So it was very much so what I'm hearing you say. It was like we fought back.
Absolutely, we did. Absolutely. I mean, you think about it, like my grandmother and her friends, the women on the motherboard, right? Mm-hmm. I came to live with my grandmother in the early 70s, right? That was just a couple of years out of desegregation, like legalized desegregation. A couple of years out of that. A couple of years away from them bombing people, bombing houses, bombing churches left and right. My hometown of Macomb, Mississippi was called the bombing capital of the world.
Wow.
By Time magazine. The bombing capital of the world.
Wow.
So just a few years from that, my grandmama and all them women on the motherboard were taking people to vote, trying to get people to vote. Do you know the bravery but see, here's the thing. They didn't talk about that.
No.
They just did it.
Yeah.
They just did it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it was like for me. My grandmother never sat me down, was like, girl, let me tell you. You know what I mean? That didn't happen for me. I just watched her. I just watched how she moved in the world. I watched her defend me, defend our lives, shoot snakes and shit. That was about to,
yeah,
bite me and my cousins. Do you know what I mean? She taught me by example.
Yeah.
So that's what it was like for me.
And so now I can, okay, got it. I understand when you say like you go out there and you do a good job as an actress because this is a lived experience.
Yeah, it's in me. It's in me. I saw it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So you said earlier that you've taken some of the money and you've done the money from your career. You've put it into working to tear down shit in Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a little bit of what happened. Tell me about that.
So a couple things that I did. One of the things that I did was, I'm not a big red carpet person, but I was like, if I'm gonna be on this red carpet, I'm gonna say something, right? So a few times when I was on red carpets, this was when the flag was still there, I would wear dresses that would say, Mississippi, take that flag down. And I wore a dress that said, Obama, take the flag down. Now, it ain't no dress that you would wear. You know what I'm saying? It ain't one.
It wasn't a gown.
It was a gown.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But it was something that, this lady from Tylertown, Mississippi, made this dress for me. And I would wear these dresses to say that. So that was stuff I was doing. So I would use these opportunities that I would be on these red carpets to express that, to say that. Another thing that I did was I did a billboard in Jackson, Mississippi. And what I did is I had "We Shall Overcome," and I had it written in Confederate flags. And it made everybody mad. It pissed off black folks. It pissed off white folks. It pissed off everybody. But I did it because, okay, I need y'all to talk about this because nobody's talking about this. And that worked. So that was back then. I'll tell you an example that I've done recently. So you see how they trying to take a little pencil eraser and just erase us from everything, right? So what I know that I have to do is I can't do things within a system, because if you do things within a system, then folks can tell you what to do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, how do I do this? And how do I bring what I want these kids to know in Central Mississippi without anybody telling me what to do? So what I do is I take my own money, and nobody can tell me what to say, what to talk about, what not to say. And so recently I had what I called a convocation at Tougaloo College in Mississippi. I brought down filmmakers. I brought down writers and musicians. And they came one weekend in the first of November, and they showed their films. They talked about what they do. They played their music, and they had master classes. And all these kids came. They didn't have to pay a dime. And all these folks came to Mississippi. They didn't ask for anything. Only thing I had to do was to put them up and pay their airfare to get there. And that's my way of, okay, Tougaloo, you can't afford to do this. And if you do it, you got to live by governmental standards. If I do it with my own money, I can bring down people like TS Madison maybe one day.
Come on. I'm coming down there, and we gonna march. I'm coming on down there.
You know?
Yeah.
And you can teach them how you do what you do.